Hello, welcome to the fourth week of our Fold and Compress series. This class focuses on the same skills of deep active compression strength in the core, as well as lengthening the back body and forward folds. But we are ultimately building up into a couple of inversions for today's practice. We'll be working with handstand as well as forearm stand. I always like to say this when we're working inversions in my class. If you're not feeling well today, if you're not feeling at the top of your game, if you don't want to get upside down, that is totally fine. There is plenty of work to be done in this class before we get to the inversions. So feel free to work up to that point, and whenever you need to take a break and rest. If you're with me for this class, let's go ahead and start our music. We'll start that playlist in 3, 2, and 1. And then make your way to your mat, finding child's pose. So knees either as wide as your mat or they can be close together underneath you. Push the hips back to the heels and then begin to walk the hands out, letting the forehead rest on the mat. And as you arrive here, a little bit of swaying from side to side. You can massage the forehead against the earth. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. And start to find a comfortable stillness for your time here. And begin to notice what you're working with on your mat today. So how does your heart feel? And how does your headspace feel? Maybe you find that your mind is stuck on whatever moments came before you arrived on the mat. Or you might be stuck in a sense of expectation. We're going to talk a lot about expectation today. For so many of us, we live in the moments after the one that we're currently living. We're constantly thinking about the future, impressing our minds and narrative on future moments. And oftentimes that means that we're not fully living in this moment right now, the present. So today we'll take some time to drop down out of expectation and try to live just moment by moment, not expecting anything, but allowing the experience to wash over us. Well, let's start to deepen the breath to come more fully into this moment. So get empty, pull the navel back, push all the air out. Inhale through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold full at the top for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get empty for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold empty for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing, inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Empty out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold full. Get empty. Hold empty. Last round on your own. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let go. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the nose, begin to constrict the back of the throat to create that ujjayi sound. Have a little bit of rasping that will keep you connected sonically to the breath throughout the practice. Whatever expectations that you have for how the next hour will go, see if you can drop those down and be open to whatever experience comes up for you. If you notice there are particular aspects that you're clinging really strongly to, that's okay, don't force anything. But examine perhaps why you're holding on so tight. That's the work for today. In your child's pose position, bring the palms to connect. And then bend the elbows and point your fingertips up towards the sky. With an inhale, walk your elbows a little bit further forward, feeling your armpits and the underbellies of your arms lengthen. And with the exhale, pull the navel back, pull your ribs down and in, closing off the rib cage. Inhale, feel the length. Exhale, navel and ribs pull in. One more breath, just like that. If you have a little bit more space here, you might walk the elbows a little bit further forward in space. Exhale, close the rib cage. And release the palms to the mat and inhale, come up to a tabletop. Now let's start just by awakening the lower body. Sway the hips from side to side, maybe taking some circles very gently. Noticing what parts of the body feel sleepier or more sticky than others. If you want to tap out the feet here, if you've lost any circulation in the feet, you might wake them up this way. Now let's come through a cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, pull the heart forward. Exhale, push the floor away and round the spine. Couple rounds like this in your own time, building up the breath as you articulate through the spine. One more round. Inhale, neutral spine. Let's sit back on the heels and we'll start to warm up the wrists. So bring the palms to connect. Open the palms like the pages of a book. Pinkies connect, and then backs of the hands connect. Keep the wrists connected as you start to roll the hands in circles, never losing that connection between the wrists. And then flip it and reverse it, taking it in the opposite direction. And you've got two mixing bowls right here. You're going to plant your palms into those mixing bowls. Take the pinky edge side of each hand and begin to scrape the edges of those bowls, finding a larger range of motion in the wrists. And I don't know what you've got in your mixing bowls today. I think for me, I want some chopped fresh fruit this morning. So we've got some strawberries. We've got some honeydew. We've got some blueberries mixed in. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to the center. This time we're taking the thumb edge side and we're scraping the insides of those bowls again. Maybe you've got some cookie dough going. Maybe you've got like some sourdough bread, some dough that you're working with. Whatever it is for you. We're trying to scrape out all of that yummy goodness. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake that out. Let that go. Let's come back to tabletop. From here, we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back to our first downward facing dog. And let's lift the heels, maybe tapping the feet from side to side, swaying the hips. Feel the rhythm of the song. And we're just wiggling out any nervous or stuck energy. This next breath, start to find a little bit of stillness, slowing down the rhythm. Begin to think about lifting the tailbone, pushing back through the palms to send the chest high. The heels don't have to touch the floor. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, and then find a cat back as you round forward and roll forward into plank pose, stacking shoulders over wrists. Find a strong plank here, so push the floor away, dome the upper back. Think belt buckled to belly button, so you're scooping the low belly in, and then drag your heels to the back of the mat so your legs are turned on and active. Full breath. Exhale, bend the knees, push the hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, cat back, roll forward into plank. Exhale, bend the knees, push the hips back, down dog. Couple of rounds rolling through, one breath to come forward, one exhale to come back. Two more. Articulate through the entirety of the spine. Last one. Push it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale into a halfway lift. And exhale, fold, hands on the mat, sway the torso, drop the head heavy. With your next inhale, push the feet down into the earth, start to roll up to standing, one piece at a time, no rush to get to the top. As the shoulders stack over the hips, roll them back and down, stack the ears on tops of the shoulders. Lift your belly up and in, squeeze your glutes with your next breath in, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank pose. From here, you're welcome to lower halfway through a traditional chaturanga, or if you're warming up slow like me, lower all the way to the earth. Inhale, push your feet down, lift your kneecaps, open the heart into cobra. And exhale, lift the navel to take you back into downward facing dog. One breath in. And one breath out. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise all the way up to the sky, pressing down through the feet. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastipiki. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, engage front body and back body. Exhale, fold. The belly stays in towards the spine the entire time. Inhale, halfway lift. That core supports the low back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. This time we take the traditional chaturanga. Lower halfway down, elbows kiss the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull the heart through between the upper arms. Exhale, look to the navel. Lift the navel to take you back into downward facing dog. Big breath in. And let it go with a sigh. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back to three-legged dog. Exhale, pull the navel in and then draw the knee right into that hollow space underneath your ribs. Inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. Everything else stays the same. Inhale, kick through the heel, send it back. Last time, exhale, navel back, knee pulls in, and then stack shoulders over the wrists. Step the right foot up between the palms. Come into a lunge position, take your heart forward, a little bit of rocking forward and back. Notice how the left hip flexor is feeling. On your next exhale, push off the back foot and step to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart. Inhale right into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Hips go low, reach the arms up. tear the mat apart between the feet and then draw the hips back and down a little bit deeper. Inhale, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sit all the way to the floor for Navasana. You might use the hands to help you, or maybe you can just sit back, catch the balance on your tailbone, or rather on your sitting bones, and then lift the feet. Hug inner thighs, hug inner ankles together, and then stretch the arms forward. Big breath in. Pull the navel back. If you'd like a little bit more here, lift from the inner thighs to take the toes up towards the sky. With this inhale, lay yourself back to low boat. Glue the low back to the floor. Heels are hovering, shoulder blades are hovering. Exhale, pull the knees into the chest, Navasana. Inhale, lower. Exhale, navel down, lift the knees. Inhale, lower. And lift. 2 more. Pull it in. Nice and smooth, 1 more. And lift. Inhale, lay it back to low boat. Take the hands behind the head. Shoulder blades stay hovering. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. Inhale, switch. Exhale, left knee pulls in. Let's pick up the pace. See if you can get the bottom tips of your shoulder blades off. And then that exhale is sharp. The navel is pulling down, creating space for the knees to pull tighter to the chest. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stack the knees over the hips. Big breath in. We're going to add in a twist here. So same leg motion as the right knee pulls in. We twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Waking up those obliques a little bit. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stack knees over hips. Again, the chest stays lifted. Last piece here. Inhale, push the heels away from you. They can hover low to the earth or they can stay high. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, push the heels away. Exhale, pull the knees in tight. Inhale. And pull in. Last 2, keep the shoulder blades up. Last 1, kick it away from you. And pull it in. Good, wrap the hands around the shins as you let the head relax. Rock from side to side across the low back. Good. From here, let's rock up to a seat. Push the palms down into the floor, and we'll come back up into chair pose. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the seat. Exhale, fold forward. And we'll take a deep forward fold here. So we'll take Padagustasana. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. Inhale into a halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the knees lightly. Bend the elbows and drape your torso over your thighs as you fall into this fold. A couple of breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Now you want to maintain this connection between your upper body and your lower body. So this thigh to torso connection. So rather than trying to straighten the legs, which often severs that connection, think about rocking the weight towards your toes, towards the front edges of your feet, and then lifting your sitting bones up towards the sky. We've got another 2 breaths. Exhale to pull the navel back, maybe pulling up on the toes a little bit more. Last 1. Get empty. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, and we'll sit down to Navasana again. Butt down, feet up. This time we'll roll all the way onto the back body, and we'll come into Halasana Plow Pose. So this is going to be a little bit different than your traditional plow. Let's stretch the arms overhead, turn the palms face up, and then draw the knees into the chest. Lift the hips up, take the toes back towards your hands. It might take you a couple of tries. Shoulder blades are wide on the earth. Seat is high. Maybe you can touch the toes with your fingertips. Big breath in. Exhale, pull the navel towards the top of the mat as your arms and your legs continue to reach back. Slowly try to descend your hips towards the earth, keeping the thighs as close to the torso as possible. And then inhale, let's rock back up to Navasana. Exhale, plant the feet, crossing the ankles, plant the palms, step back, plank. Lower slow through a vinyasa. Inhale, cobra or up dog, active legs, open heart. Exhale, pull the navel back to lift the hips high into downward facing dog. Big breath in. And let it go. Same thing to the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull the navel back, draw the left knee in. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, knee to chest. One more. Stack shoulders over wrist, step the left foot through, come into a low lunge, a little bit of rocking as the right hip crease gets heavy, heart draws forward. With your next exhale, push off the back foot, step to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart. You're already tearing the mat apart between the feet. Inhale, rise, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, sit low. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, we sit all the way down to the floor into Navasana. Feet up, balancing on the sit bones. If you'd like to, you can lift the heels. Try to lift from the inner thighs rather than trying to lift the feet. 2 big breaths. One more big breath. Exhale, plant the feet. We rise to chair pose. You can use the hands if you like. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Padahastasana. So insert the palms underneath the soles of the feet, toes towards the wrist creases. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale, halfway lift. Stretch the heart forward, lengthen the front body over the thighs. And then exhale, bend the elbows, pull up on the feet to drag yourself deep into this forward fold. Same rules apply here. Try to rock the weight towards the front edges of the feet, pressing the toes into the wrist creases, and then lift your sitting bones up. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Pull the elbows back towards the shins in kind of half semicircles to stretch the wrist a little bit more. Last 2 breaths. Last breath. Inhale, halfway lift, release the hands, bend the knees, sit the hips down, and we'll rock it back into Halasana. So back body down, arms overhead, palms turn face up. Inhale, lift the feet overhead. Exhale, pull the navel back, keep the limbs reaching to the back of the mat. You're trying to slow yourself down and resist the motion of the hips towards the earth. And then inhale, rock up to a seat, cross the ankles, plant the palms, step back, plank. Take the vinyasa or skip it. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, let's drop the forearms to the earth for forearm plank. So elbows are stacked right underneath the shoulders. You're driving the elbows down, so you're not sinking into the shoulders, but you're creating a rounded open space across the upper back. And the wrists will have a tendency to lift up here, push them down so that you're using the entire surface area of the fingertips all the way back to the elbow to push the floor away. Big breath in. Navel in, think belt buckle to belly button. Squeeze your glutes. Breathe. 2 more. Last breath. Drop the head, bend the knees, start to walk the feet in, lifting the hips high for dolphin pose. Now the heels do not need to come down to the floor. The knees can be bent. What I want you to focus on is getting the hips as high as you can. So that comes from walking the feet in a little bit closer and then not allowing the shoulders to dip forward and not allowing yourself to sink into the shoulders. So keep pushing down through the forearms, lifting the heart away from the earth. We're here for another 3. As you're pushing the floor away, can you make your armpits longer? Can you engage the lats and the serratus anterior underneath your shoulder blades? Last breath in. Exhale, walk the feet back out to forearm, plank, belt buckle to belly button, hips in line with shoulders, and then press the palms down. Option to take a vinyasa, or if you're like me, you'll just lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Out through the nose. From downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose and hold. With the inhale, push the floor away, dome the upper back. Exhale, lift the navel and then pull the right knee tighter to the chest. Inhale, pitch further forward over the wrist than you think you need to go. Without lifting the palms, can you step the right foot up between the palms? Inhale, slow, steady rise to your high lunge. Peel the chest up. As you land, find a deep lunge through the front knee. Back heel stays elevated and you're squeezing the left glute. Let's connect the palms overhead and then bend the elbows and drop the hands behind the head like we did in child's pose. With your inhale, lengthen the front body. Lift your elbows up towards the sky. Exhale, pull the rib cage in and down. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, length through the front body. Exhale, ribs down, navel in. Last one. With this exhale, power lunge, hinge the chest forward, sweep the hands back, rib cage is still pulling in. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, sweep the arms forward, left knee pulls up into the chest. Start by finding your drishti. So make that part of the stability of this pose, part of the integral aspects of maintaining this shape. So drishti first, and then squeeze your right glute in towards the center line of your body. Pull your navel back, and then see if you can lift the left knee a little bit tighter to the chest. Woo, we're using those hip flexors today. Big breath in. Exhale, cactus the arms, thread left elbow underneath right. You can grab opposite shoulders, or you can double wrap the forearms here. Inhale, lift the elbows, lift the left knee higher. Exhale, eagle pose, bend your standing leg, cross left thigh over right. Kickstand the toes, and then sit the hips back and down like you're sitting in chair pose. Inhale to lift the elbows, lengthen front body. Exhale, pull the ribs down, sit a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths here. Last breath. With the exhale, release and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Bakasana, crow pose. Plant the palms, all 10 fingers spread wide. Hug the elbows in towards the center line. Perch the knees on the triceps and then look forward, lean forward. Before the feet leave the earth, dome the upper back, push the floor away. And then see, maybe you can hug one heel up towards the hip. Maybe you can hug the other heel up towards the hip. Woo. Let's take maybe 2 more breaths here. Hugging knees and elbows into the center line, continuing to push the floor away, and then find a strong engagement of the hamstrings to pull the heels in. Last breath. Exhale, step or jump back. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog, hips high. Let's get the other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, push the floor away. Exhale, navel in, left knee tighter to the chest. Inhale, pitch further forward over the wrist. Exhale, step the left foot through without lifting the palms. Inhale, high lunge, slow, steady rise. If you're feeling wobbly, left foot walks to the left, and then settle into a deep lunge in the front thigh. Lift your back heel as high as it'll go. Squeeze the right glute. Breathe in. Exhale, connect the palms, bend the elbows, hands drop behind the head. 3 big breaths, focusing on lengthening the front body, opening the shoulders and triceps. Exhaling to close off the rib cage. 2 more. Exhale, tighten that corset around your torso. One more. Exhale, power lunge, ribs down. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, right knee carries up into the chest. Start with the drishti. Hug the left hip in, left glutes engaged. Pull your navel back. And then right knee comes tighter to the chest if you can. Breathe. Cactus the arms. Right elbow threads underneath left. Same options as the last side. You can double wrap or catch the opposite shoulder. Inhale, lift the elbows, lift right knee. Exhale, bend your standing leg, cross thigh over thigh. You can kickstand the toes or let them float or double wrap. 3 breaths in Garudasana Eagle. One more breath. Exhale, fold forward, release everything. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Bakasana, crow pose, or perhaps on the side you're working with crane. So it's going to be the same entrance as crow pose. So lean forward, look forward. Make sure you really find that domed upper back before you lift off. And then you might already be starting to pull the elbows towards the top of the mat before the feet lift off. Woo! So crane pose is just crow with straight arms. Woo! And then let's step or jump back into plank. Take the vinyasa or skip it. Inhale, open the heart, stretch out the core muscles. Exhale, lift back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step the right foot through between the palms. Come to the same low lunge rocking position that we started our first flow in. Rather than stepping up into chair pose, this time we'll take it to 1-leg Tadasana. So on your next inhale, push off the back foot, left knee pulls tight to the chest at the top of the mat. Woo. Now we've been here before. You know that you need your drishti, and you know that that right glute needs to squeeze to stabilize. Let's connect the palms overhead. Bend the elbows, drop the hands behind the head. Inhale, lift the elbows, grow tall. Exhale, pull the rib cage down, kick the left foot back to warrior 3. So the elbows point towards the top of the mat, left heel reaches back. Inhale, 1-leg Tadasana, pull left knee in. Exhale, send it back, warrior 3. Ribs pulling down. We've got one more, inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 3. This time we hold. So turn the back toes down and slightly in towards the center line of your body. This will help drop the left hip. And then squeeze your left glute, lift from the front of the left thigh. Elbows still pointing forward. Connect the palms. There's pressure between those palms. Pull the ribs down. Front body's lifting away from the floor. You've got one more breath. Exhale, standing split, palms to the mat. Left leg goes high. Put a little bend in your standing leg. Keep that leg soft. And then a lot of lift through the front of the left hip. Squeeze to the left glute, just like in warrior 3. Walk the hands back 2 inches. Soften your head. Soften the back of your neck. If you want a little bit more of a balanced challenge, bring the hands behind your calf into inverted prayer, so fingertips pointing towards the floor. If you're taking this balance option, make sure that you find a drishti. So oftentimes when we're balancing on one leg standing up straight, the drishti seems obvious, but as soon as we get upside down, having a drishti kind of loses its significance in our minds, but it's just as important. So find that one spot on your mat that you're looking at as you're balancing here. We've got 2 more breaths in through the nose. Navel back. Last breath in. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend your standing leg. Chamber left knee behind right. Get tight, get compact, maybe flying the arms back. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, standing split. Last time, exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, send the left leg high. This time we're going to move towards some handstand hops. So plant the palms shoulder width apart. All 10 fingers spread as wide as they'll go. And make sure that the hand is as close to your standing foot as they possibly can be. Hug the elbows in a little bit like crow pose. And then flex your lifted foot. We are not going to jump from the earth. You're going to kick the left heel high towards the sky, and that'll get the bottom foot up. Now, as soon as your bottom foot leaves the floor, hug your knee into your chest, pull the heel towards the hip. These are called stag handstand hops. Stag handstand hops. And pulling this knee into the chest will keep that top leg from going too far. For the most part. Make sure you're using a strong exhale to kick that left heel high. That way the navel's engaged, pulling in, making space for the right knee to pull tight to the chest. Let's do 2 more hops. One more hop. And from here, land the back toes at the back of the mat. Inhale, high lunge. You thought that flow was done, but it's not. Exhale, open up, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the palms down. Step back, plank. Take the vinyasa or choose to skip it. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Same thing to the other side. Inhale, left leg goes high. Exhale, knee to nose, step the left foot up. Little bit of rocking. With your next inhale, one leg Tadasana, right knee high. Woo. Take a moment, catch your breath. Find your drishti. I recommend finding a drishti on the floor because it will be moving between warrior 3 in this position. So you want to maintain that drishti all the way through. Left glute is squeezing. Reach the arms up. Connect the palms, bend the elbows, drop the hands behind the head. Big breath in, lift the elbows high. Exhale, pull the ribs down, kick the right heel back to warrior 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, lift. And this time we hold in warrior 3. Keep your drishti. Drop the toes, turn them into the center line, right hip drops, but lift the right thigh, squeeze the right glute. Big breath in, lengthen from the elbows through the heel. Pull the ribs down. Inhale, lengthen. Front body draws up into back body. Last breath. Exhale, standing split, drop the palms, drop the head, lift the right thigh high. Walk your hands back 2 inches. If you're going for the balance, hands come behind the ankle or maybe inverted prayer. Breathe for 3. For 2. Navel back. For 1. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend your standing leg, chamber right knee behind. Maybe the hands fly. Inhale, standing split, kick it up. Exhale, Shiva. Last one. And bend. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, prepare for the handstand hops. Hands close to your standing foot, all 10 fingers spread wide. With your exhale, you drive the right heel, which is flexed, towards the sky. That gets the bottom heel up off the earth. And as soon as that foot leaves the earth, think knee to chest. Heel to hip. Knee to chest. Last 2. Last 1. From here, we land right toes at the back of the mat. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the palms to the earth. Step back. Either take the vinyasa or meet and down dog. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Side out. In through the nose. Blow it out through the lips. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Inhale, roll forward to plank pose, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, drop down to the forearms. Now you've got two options here. You might just be holding, focusing on pushing the elbows down, doming the upper back, keeping the low belly in. If you want a little bit more here, take a big breath. Exhale, lift your left leg. Bend the left knee out to the side, arc it in a semicircle out to the left, and then tap the left elbow, keeping the hips low. Inhale, take it back, forearm plank. Exhale, right leg lifts. Carve it out to the right and all the way up to the right tricep. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, left knee. Inhale and right. Inhale and left. Inhale and right. One more set. Left. Inhale and right. Send it back. Exhale, bend the knees, walk the feet in, dolphin pose. Woo! All right, so we're starting to come up towards our peak pose for today, working in a forearm stand. And if being upside down like this makes you uncomfortable, that's normal, that's natural. Let that be part of the experience. Don't fight it. All right, we're going to add on a little bit more. You might just hold here if you don't want to go any further. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, pull the right knee into the chest. So hips stay high, you're continuing to push back through the forearms, and the knee meets the chest. We're just holding for 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, pull the navel back, left knee tight to the chest. We're holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Drop the knees. Woo, sit on the heels. Let's rinse that out. Hands on the shoulders. Roll it back. Back and back. And roll it forward, forward, and forward. Okay, so we've come up to our peak pose, our forearm stand, Pincha Mayurasana, and we're going to work those same stag hops that we did in the handstand. We're going to do them in forearm stand. If you don't want to do them in the middle of the room, you can always come up against a wall. You'll place your fingertips up against the wall, and that wall will be there to catch you if you feel like you're going to kick over too far. I do want to talk about arm position, though, before we go anywhere from here. So there are 2 ways that I really recommend that people work with the arms in forearm stand. So let's come down to forearms, and you'll just rest on your knees, kind of like you're in child's pose. Let's find the distance between the upper arms, because that is something that is really important and can be really tricky, because we don't want the elbows sliding out, and we don't want them too close together, making the shoulders unable to work efficiently. So take the elbows about what you would assume shoulder width apart is, and then cross the forearms. And I find that a good measurement for me is being able to wrap just the first knuckle of my fingers around the opposite arm, like past the front and almost to the side of the arm. Yeah. Once you feel like you've found that spacing, keep the elbows exactly where they are, but you can swivel the palms forward. Palms flat on the earth is the traditional arm positioning for Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. And the reason that this can be helpful is that you have more surface area, you have more connection to the earth. So you can push the floor away a little bit more, and you can use your fingertips as brakes to stop yourself if you feel like you're going to go too far and go ass over tea kettle, as my mom would say. The second variation that I like to recommend to students is bringing the palms together and even opening the palms, keeping the pinkies connected. And we're well set up for this because we've done a lot of this stuff today, which is the arm position for forearm stand. And I find that this just gives a little bit more external rotation in the shoulders. You'll feel that you have a little bit more space. You might be able to drive the elbows down a little bit more. So I recommend that you experiment with both. This is going to be a little bit more workshop style. We're just going to kind of play. Whenever you need to take a break, take a break. Let's either set up in the middle of the room or at a wall. You can drag your mat to a wall if you need to. You can pause the video if you need to get yourself set up. But let's set up for a little bit of play. So plant the elbows, cross the forearms, make sure that they're an adequate distance apart. Wrap those fingers just lightly around the edges of the upper arms, and then choose which arm position you're going to use. I'm going to use the traditional one to start, but whatever you feel like is most comfortable. And then let's tuck the toes, lift the hips up to dolphin. This might be enough for you today. You're welcome to just hang out here working on the strength of the shoulders. If you're ready for more, inhale, lift your right leg high. Now this is going to be our kicking leg. Again, we're not jumping off the earth. We're not using our bottom leg to push away, but we're using our top leg to lift. So take a couple of hops, just feeling that bottom foot leave the floor. And this might feel very uncomfortable for you today. So this might be where you're working. And I want you to notice if you're working here, as that bottom leg leaves the floor, we have a tendency to let the elbows, or rather let the shoulders pass the elbows and hinge forward. As soon as that happens, push down through the forearms, push down through the palms. Keep the chest lifting up and back. You want to keep those shoulders stacked as much as possible. If you're feeling good here with getting that bottom foot an inch off the floor, then as soon as that foot leaves the floor, hug the heel to the hip. Think knee to chest. You might catch some air time at the top. Woo. When you need to rest, come down and rest. You can use those elbow circles because this is a lot on the shoulders. Now let's come in and try the other leg. I'm going to try the other arm variation here. So same setup. Make sure the elbows aren't too close, not too far. Connect the palms and then lift the hips. In front of me here, we lift the left leg high. Exhale to kick the heel up. Bottom foot leaves the floor. As soon as it does, try hugging that bottom heel in towards the hip. Think knee to chest. Good. You're welcome to play around a little bit more, taking some time here, noticing how things feel in the body, resting when you need to rest. Let's take maybe 2 more hops each side if you like, if you're still playing. Last 2 hops on this side. Last hop. Okay, now let's come down to the knees and then all the way down to the belly, and we'll stretch out those shoulders after a lot of work today. So come all the way down to the belly. You can rest your chin on the mat if you like. Stretch your left arm out to the left, and you want to make sure that it's a little bit higher than shoulder height. So make sure it's maybe about eye height is a good measurement. Right hand is underneath the right shoulder. You'll push through the right palm. You'll roll back onto your left side body. This left palm is still pressing down strongly. Drop the left temple either to the earth or maybe a block if the head doesn't reach the floor. And if you like, you can kickstand this top leg behind you. Now this is a perfectly acceptable stopping point. If you want a little bit more, inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, take the hand back behind you. You might try to interlace the fingers here. That's not accessible for me today. So I'm just going to bend this elbow and let the back of the hand drift to the low back. Take some deep breaths into the front of the left shoulder. If you've moved this right hand, bring it back underneath you and very slowly start to roll back under the belly, going slow because we often feel this more when we come out of it than when we're in it. Woo. Chin to the mat. And we can switch to the other side. So left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Stretch your right arm out to the right, higher than shoulder height. Push through the left palm, roll onto the right side, kickstanding the left foot. Drop the right side of the head and soften. Make sure your right palm is still pressing down. If you're ready for a little bit more, left arm high. Bend the elbow and let it drop behind you. Deep breaths here. Deep breaths. 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 Deep breath Bring that left hand back underneath the left shoulder and very slowly start to roll yourself back onto the belly. From here, let's push the floor away. Come up to tabletop. From here, let's sit back behind the heels, or rather sit on the heels. Take the hands behind you and drop the palms to the earth. Bend the elbows and then inhale, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. Sort of a cross between Ustrasana, camel pose, and Virasana, hero's pose. Just stretching out the hip flexors, pull your navel up and in. Continue to squeeze the glutes. Lengthening front body for 2. And last one. Exhale, drop the hips. Walk the hands forward, cross the ankles behind you, sit behind the feet. And let's take figure 4. We'll take it in a seated position. Fingertips point towards the hips. You're leaning on the hands. Cross right ankle over left knee. Flex the right toes. And then 2 ways to intensify this. You can push the right knee towards the top of the mat. You can also walk the hands in closer and then push the floor away through the palms to lift the chest, and that'll intensify it as well. Exhale, release, and switch. Left ankle crosses right knee. Flex the left toes. Push the left knee away from you a little bit. And release. Lay yourself down on your back. A little bit of rocking side to side across the low back. Let's catch the outer edges of the feet for happy baby. Gently release. We've reached our final resting pose for this practice, Shavasana. You're welcome to take the legs long in traditional Shavasana or come to seated meditation if you find that you get distracted in your home practice while laying in Shavasana. We've got about 3 minutes to rest. And if you have more time and you'd like to stay, please do so. If you're ready to come out with me, take a big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And with your next breath in, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, knees into the chest. You can roll to one side and rest there. Or if you'd like to meet me in a comfortable seat with the hands at heart center, you're welcome to do that as well. Take a moment and a little bit of gratitude. One of my favorite teachers, Ram Dass, he says that home is the quality of presence. It's the quality of being wherever you are. So dropping down out of expectation, allowing ourselves to feel present. It's training ourselves to feel at home wherever we are. Thumbs up to the third eye between the brows. Big breath in. Open mouth, release. As we bow forward in reverence to each other, together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed. This is the last class of our Fold and Compress series. So next week, we'll begin a new series for the month of June. We'll be focusing on side body length and side body strength. So really toning the core and noticing how these side bodies work to connect our upper and lower body and all of the actions and the vinyasa yoga structure that use that strength. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Until we meet on the mat again, namaste.